Meeting called to order and welcome. Good afternoon. This is Gail Charette, and I am calling this meeting of the Yarmouth Commission on Disability to order at 3 p.m. Sarah will now read the open meeting law. Thank you.
Okay, this is to formally advise that as required by Mass General Law, Chapter 38, Sections 18 to 25, and pursuant to Chapter 20 of the Acts of 2021, an act relative to extending certain COVID-19 measures adopted during the state of emergency, signed into law on June 16th, 2021, as extended by Chapter 2 of the Acts of 2023, the Yarmouth Commission on Disability will hold a public meeting on Thursday, February 13th, 2025 at 3 p.m. at Yarmouth Town Hall, 1146 Route 28, South Yarmouth. The public is welcome to attend either in person or via the alternative public access provided on the agenda. Before we begin, permit me to cover some ground rules for effective and clear conduct of our business and to ensure accurate meeting. The chair will introduce each speaker on the agenda. If you're participating remotely, please remember to unmute your microphone and face the microphone on your computer when you are recognized to speak so you can be heard clearly. Please remember to mute the mic on the Zoom app or mobile phone when you're not speaking. When a participant wishes to interject a question or comment, please wave your hand physically or remotely and ask to be recognized. We will now proceed with the meeting.
As a preliminary matter, I will confirm for the record the members and staff present and that they can hear me. Members, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Gail Charette? Yes. Glenn Martin?
Here.
John Mitchell?
Present.
Jessica Simmons?
Here.
Mary Vilborn? She didn't make it, okay. Staff, when I call
You
your name.
didn't, Phyllis Becker? Didn't you Phyllis
Well,
and Glenn?
Oh, Glenn.
They did me, yeah.
No, you
But
didn't do Phyllis.
I didn't
I'm
because,
official.
She's sworn in. Oh,
okay, the reason why I didn't know that is because we didn't get to membership. Thank you very much.
Okay, no
Yeah, thank
worries.
you.
Sorry about
No,
that.
that's okay. I'm glad.
I thought I could say I'm here.
Phyllis Vinberg,
Present.
thank you. Staff, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Sarah O'Reilly, Director of Human Resources. and
Here.
EPA Fund. Thank you. I see we have a lot of people on Zoom. Welcome. And let me see how we're going to start this now.
Gail, just make sure that you recognize public comment before you
is
get
that-
into the
I
project
thought that would
update.
be- Okay, I thought it's the same. Any public comments?
And Mary, just want to note that Mary Vilbon's on Zoom as well.
Oh, Mary's on Zoom now.
Is she?
Okay,
Yeah.
welcome. Thank you. Okay, proceed. Before, I would like to thank Matt Salsty from Niche Engineering for attending today. He will give us an update report, and before he turns back to the chair, would you kindly share what your responses were to the chair's questions? Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for letting us join. Yes. So just real quick, I'm Matt Soltis with Niche Engineering, leading the roadway design as part of the Route 28 bridge project with MassDOT, leading the Yarmouth side of the roadway design. I'm joined by a number of folks from MassDOT and my design team. Would it be helpful if I did a quick introduction of them real quick? Just kind of said their roles in the project, and then we can go through the questions. So I'm joined by Kim Miller, my engineer on the project, who works with Niche Engineering. Rob Antico from MassDOT. He is MassDOT's project manager in charge of the project. Zach Benier from MassDOT's Complete Streets and Accessibility Design section. Brian Paula and Patrick McAlpine from HDR, who is the lead designer that Niche is working with. So a number of different folks from the design team that have been involved in this, very big project. Great. So Gail, you wanted to go over the few.
Thank you for being here. I just want to say thank you to all of you for taking the time to be at the meeting today. We really appreciate it.
Great. And I'm going to let Kim do a presentation of just kind of what the accessibility issue was at this one specific building, and also a new solution that we came up with that meets ADA and hopefully will allow us to withdraw our variance application. But with that, I can go over the quick questions that were sent in an email. Would that be helpful? Or we want to dive into?
Yes.
That'd be
So-
great.
That'd be great.
Totally.
Yep, so there's gonna be, the solution that we're gonna present shows a new proposed ramp at the building entrances that will ramp down to the proposed sidewalk. The ramp will be cement concrete material, supported by granite curb. The project would be included as part of MassDOT's overall construction project, and will be constructed as part of the bigger project by MassDOT's contractor, who is AA Will. We're working on getting them up on board with the project, with a start sometime in the next couple months. And then in terms of how long will the work start and how long will it take, a lot of that's still to be determined because the contractor isn't on board yet. We don't have their schedule. This project is slated to be about a 5-year project, with the biggest focus is on the bridge and a lot of utility work. So it could be a year or two before we see any work in front of this property. As part of the project, the contractor is required to maintain access to all buildings and businesses at all times. And when they are going to work directly in front of their business, to communicate them, I believe it's 72 hours in advance of how that work will happen and coordinate with them. So a lot of this is still to be determined, but we'll be coordinated with the property owner and the businesses once we get really into construction. So with that, Kim, do you want to kind of, if Kim has access to share a screen, kind of walk through kind of the presentation on what the original variance was, quick high level of the project, and then what our proposed solution is, so we can talk about that.
Can everybody see my PowerPoint?
And Rob, I didn't mean anything you had to add on top of that as the MassDOT project manager.
No, Matt, you're doing a great job. Appreciate it. Let you guys just keep presenting.
Thank you.
Okay, so like Matt said, my name is Kim and I've been one of the main engineers on this project for Niche Engineering, the Dennis Yarmouth Bridge replacement. We kind of went over the project team, but it's comprised of MassDOT, Niche Engineering, and HDR. And Matt introduced everybody from the team previously. So I just wanted to go through a little bit of the proposed improvements for the overall project before we got into the ADA specific issues that we were going to talk about. So the project that we are doing is redoing the intersection between Route 28 North Main Street and Old Main Street, and also the bridge connecting it from the Dennis side of the roadway. We are adding shared use paths. We're on the south side of the roadway. We have sidewalks on the north side. We have bike and pedestrian connectivity throughout the project. And we're also improving the parking in the parking lot. At the intersection specifically, we're adding a new, or we're reconfiguring the traffic signal so that it'll have emergency preemption. We have dedicated turn lanes now. We have bicycle and pedestrian crossing. And like I said before, we have the shared use path on the south side of the roadway and sidewalk on the north side. And this is a cross section of the bridge that you can see, and it's got the shared use path on page left and the sidewalk on page right. So the property that we are discussing is 1341 Route 28 in Yarmouth. So this is the existing conditions that we have. There are 2 doorways, but we are discussing the one on the left, which is a little confusing because it's actually the east entrance. And then the photo on the right with the stairs, that's actually the west entrance. So as you can see, currently there are 2 steps for the doorway on the right and about a 1-inch lip on the doorway on the left. When we originally did the ADA, when we were going after the variance, our design included a 7-inch step on the left entrance and then adding an additional 7-inch step to the right. After we heard everybody's concerns, we kind of went back to the drawing board and we discussed adding a ramp instead. So that's what we would like to propose so that we can withdraw the variance. So our proposed design includes a level landing in front of the entrances, and we'll maintain the existing entrances that will be connected to a 2% slope, sloped ramp that will slope down and meet the shared use path. So the shared use path will go from 8 feet to about 5 feet 6 inches at the pinch point. So we are narrowing it down a bit, but I think that this helps avoid the variance needed for ADA. And then Just to touch on the schedule, I know Matt kind of went over this from the questions. But it's scoped to be completed within about 5 years, and once we get the contractor schedule, they'll be able to discuss with the owner and kind of communicate the timeline for that. And one thing to note is that access will be maintained to the businesses throughout the construction process. Does anybody have any questions about that?
Yeah, thanks, Kim. Kim, if you go back to that kind of isometric view, I think one other thing is the intersection will be reconstructed with a new signal, new pedestrian push buttons, new pedestrian curb ramps for all crossings.
one?
Just the proposed solution view. And this new ramp will allow the existing entrances to function as they do today, and then have an ADA compliant slope back to the shared use path and sidewalk as it approaches the corner. So interested in hearing everyone's comments, thoughts.
It was gonna go sideways.
Yeah.
It has to, yeah.
Can't go out, right, I gotcha.
There isn't enough
Yep.
space not
Right,
to do that, yeah.
right. Yeah.
Yep. Yep, and that ramp will be 4 foot minimum width, that landing outside the doorways.
Well, I want to say, Matt, you did a great job. Your team did a wonderful job reconstructing that and putting your heads together, because this commission was really, looking for that as the focus, and thank you. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah. Is there any further comment or no, go ahead.
I think this is a great solution. I think this is kind of one of the ideas that we kind of puttered around when we were talking about potential solutions to maybe present. But I think it's great that you not only have this project going because it's sorely needed, but you also took the time. In the span of applying for a variance, you also took the time to listen to what we had to say and our concern, and that you actually took that into account and went back and came up with a solution to address. And if I'm correct, then you now don't need a variance at all. So I mean, this should help kind of streamline the timeline for you guys as well. So I mean, I think it's a win-win for everybody, and I just want to say we appreciate your taking the time to address our concern.
No, thank you. And yeah, we wanted to meet with you all, even if we still were going to go after the variance and couldn't come up with a solution, just so we could go to the AAB hearing and say that we've communicated and we're in talk. So yeah, definitely appreciate, Gail specifically reaching out and having conversations with me about everything and echoing your concerns.
Oh, we appreciate it.
Yeah,
good.
I think this is a great solution. I personally don't have any alterations to anything that I'm seeing here, and I think that this is a great way to go. I don't know, how does everybody else think?
No, I think it's
No,
great.
it's awesome.
Wonderful.
Okay, great. Well, I hope everyone, I think with that,
I only
we'll
have-
withdraw our
I'm
application.
sorry, Matt. I have
Yeah,
one
go
more thing I want to mention. If you're doing anything else along the lines of anything that has to do with disability concerns, ADA concerns, reach out to us, and we'd be more than happy to communicate, our feelings and see what we can, do to
Okay,
help
great.
this along. So we appreciate that. Okay.
Yep, and MassDOT will have a resident engineer out there all throughout construction. So there's any kind of concerns from a disability standpoint or, accessibility standpoint through construction with the final condition, definitely, communicate that through the town and everything. So
Thank you.
Perfect.
Thank you
Great.
very much.
So
we've been working
Matt,
very
just-
closely with
just to
engineering and
echo,
no, go ahead, Rob.
Sorry about that. Just to echo our final step here, we'll retract our request for the variance because it's not needed anymore, or how do we sort of follow through with this in the MMAB board?
Excellent.
Yeah, I mean, I think what we'll do, Rob, is we'll reach out to the AAB board, the contacts that we have that submitted our meeting that was scheduled for 2 weeks from Monday. And we'll just say that we met with the Disability Commission, here's our proposed design. We find a solution that meets the ADA, and we'll see if they need a formal letter, and hopefully that'll withdraw the application. Unless for some reason they want us to still have the meeting and say, we talked about it, here's our solution, moot point, we're all moving on. Yeah, we'll reach out to AAB as the next step.
Matt, would you be willing to just let us know if that hearing's going to proceed or not?
that's a good
Okay,
point.
thank you.
Yep. Yeah, we haven't received the details other than the meeting date. Because we submitted this application back in November, December, so they have the hearings pretty far out, so. Yep, and the last thing I was just gonna note is we've been coordinating closely with Jeff Colby from DPW, so he's been kind of our point of contact with the town throughout the design process, so. Feel free to echo anything through him to get to us, so.
Good.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Appreciate everyone's
Thank
time.
you
Thank you
all.
all.
Thank you.
Have a good
Bye-bye.
one.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Okay. That's wonderful. So the next item on the agenda is membership updates. Jessica what is the status?
All set, sworn in, ready to go
Okay, could you give me the date, please? So
today,
what is it?
today.
Oh, today. All right, so today is.
They voted on it at their last meeting, but I got sworn in today.
That's okay. I don't know how they're gonna, well, we'll find out, like, what your term is from this point on, or,
years.
or,
Two
yeah, I
years,
know,
3
but
years.
what's, yeah, but is it February, or was it when you were first?
Her last term ended the 31st of January, so I would.
Yeah, it's January
My belief is,
Yeah, okay, January, yeah, that makes sense, yeah, okay, great, thank you. That's 2027? 28, wow, okay, I'm still here. All right, Phyllis, congratulations.
Thank you.
I didn't know that, I'm so happy for you. And you got sworn in
Yesterday.
yesterday, okay, so basically it's like, what do they do, 2-1?
Do
Like
you remember
February,
what your letter says for your dates, your term dates?
2028.
okay,
I think it was February 1st.
Okay.
and it
I
was
think it was
February.
February 1st.
Okay,
Okay.
okay, cool. All right. Glenn,
Here,
no need, yeah. No need, I already have you down, I don't know what, I made a mistake there. The only one is Drew, even though he's not here, I just want to mention one thing. I'd like to report he is still a member of our commission, but he's no longer the age-friendly committee team liaison, which he has served since 2020.
I'm sorry, what is that?
Age friendly.
Age-
There's an
What's eight-
age-friendly committee that's part of the Yarmouth Senior Center.
Okay.
AFCT.
And
That's easy.
traditionally, there's been a, you know, a crossover where there's someone on this commission that's also on that committee.
Okay,
And he's no longer on that committee, so he can't be that person.
okay.
But he is, he's still fulfilling his term with the
us.
Disability Commission, so.
And when does that expire? Is that it?
10/25.
25, okay.
2025, yes.
So, has he expressed his interest in staying with us, or is he kind of peeling back, or what?
I don't think we know that
I don't know
yet.
yet.
Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough.
Gina and I went to one of those their meetings, just to introduce ourselves.
Mhm.
And at this point, they don't have enough members that they can actually, give us a liaison. So we might go the other way. We could probably go to their meetings and then get information back. It's just a nice reciprocation. I was always under the impression, I was assuming that we needed that exact committee to fulfill our membership through MAUD. And that's another story. And I gave that information to Sarah, and she's going to look into it because it's tricky. Because there's some things you have to do. So for now, we'll see what happens with when Sarah's going to be talking to.
We don't need a liaison to the.
I don't believe it's like a requirement.
No,
I
it's
think
not a
it's
requirement.
something, it's not a requirement for the state, let's put it that way.
Okay,
We're
it was
not clear.
Just something we were doing
Um,
to just to kind of be in conjunction and work together kind of.
Well, through the town's like bylaws and such, there are certain committees that have appointees from other committees.
Okay,
As an example, I also am the staff person for the Personnel Board. We have a member appointed to the Personnel Board from the Finance Committee. So there are some of those, kind of arrangements, but, if there isn't anyone willing to do that right now, I mean, we have to just keep it open, and
Right.
if we, if that changes, we'll continue to pursue it. So, I mean, we can't like
No.
force them to to
Right.
do it. They're all volunteer jobs, so it would be great. It is a good connection because just as an example, you know, the last couple years, the Age Friendly Committee did a health fair over at the senior center that they were organizing. And Drew was able to share that information with this group. And then this group had a table there to talk to people. So, you know, it's a good kind of connection and it
Sure.
just helps with the communication. But I would say at this moment in time, we just have to do the best we can. And if I'll find out, you know, sort of if it's a requirement or a nice to have or sort of what level it is. But I think the bottom line is regardless of what that answer is, if they don't have anyone willing to do it right now, then we have to sort of just keep it open. And, you know, it sounds like Gail might have a solution in terms of going to some of their meetings and, you know, being able to sort of handle it that way, at least for now. So.
But what I did find is that there are 3 criterias that we have to abide by. And the second criteria was the select board appointing authority or their designee has to be on this board. So I'm wondering if we could see if Sarah, who's the ADA coordinator, she was appointed through the select board, if she could be that individual.
Oh, that's not how I read your email.
Yeah, it's really complex that I mean, I read
So
it
the email that you sent me earlier didn't say that. It was saying that they could do that.
No, it is, I think I even included the,
You did, but that's not how I read it, so.
believe me, I read that thing 3,000 times because if you were appointed by the authority of the
But
select,
see, I'm not a town resident, so I don't know how that,
well, but it said that the criteria was this. If the select board appointed a designee, either of those individuals are automatically able to vote. But then, under the same breath, with the ADA coordinator, it didn't say that that person had voting powers. That's why I was confused, because I know you're not a town, you know, if it was an ADA coordinator that was a member of the board, then it would suffice. But because you're not a resident, that might be a problem. So then we have to go back to the drawing board and we have to talk to the select board, you know, the Joyce, and she has to designate somebody to come here. And that's why I thought that Drew was,
okay,
Yeah.
I didn't read that right.
Yeah.
So it says, I'll read it out loud
Okay,
because
yeah,
it took me, obviously I wasn't understanding it totally. The required membership of a commission on disability includes a seat for the appointing authority or their designee who will serve as a voting member. I asked Jeff if Jeff is with Mass Commission on Disability, if you qualify to meet the criteria. This was his response. If your appointing authority formally appointed the ADA coordinator to the commission and the ADA coordinator is a voting member, then they have been appointed. If not, the ADA coordinator serves as a resource for the COD, which is how it stands at this moment. Like I have not been
appointed.
a voting member or considered an appointed
So you
member. I
might
don't think we are
qualify.
aware of that. One of the things I'm not clear on as it relates to that is how residency, you know, members typically have to reside in and
Correct.
be voters in Yarmouth. I'm not a
Right.
Yarmouth voter, but I am a staff for the town of Yarmouth. So
Right.
I don't know like how those sort of intersect with each other,
And
but
it didn't say you automatically became,
right.
right,
They
and
would,
that-
I
that
would
was
have
that
to
word
be
in there, right.
sort of like you all were appointed. I would have to be appointed. I'll look into
But
that.
if
I'm
you're
glad you
appoint-
brought that up again because I was
Yeah,
not
it
reading
was
that
very-
correctly.
Let me tell you, I had gone back and forth, like, you know, because you must have thought I was stupid, but it was, and then it's still ambiguous if you read it, but that's beside the point, but we'll get it through.
So is he, in your mind, is he saying that we need to have that?
Oh, it's definite.
Okay,
Yes,
okay,
yes, yes,
okay.
yes. See, I thought it was fulfilled with Drew being the liaison, because if
But that's not the appointing authority. The
But we don't
appointing
know. See,
authority is
back
the
in twenty
select.
twenty, we don't, two of these people appeared at our, as part of our commission. Both Drew and I forget the other person's name.
Sharon.
Okay, Sharon. So they were part of our committee, but we don't know if they were appointed by the select board, appointing authority. If they were appointed, then that satisfies the need. That's the question. That's all.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
So anyway,
I'll
yeah,
look
you'll
into
have-
that more.
thank you.
Yeah, I didn't,
Okay.
I'm glad you
Yeah,
brought it up again,
yeah,
because I
like-
wasn't making
Okay.
that connection totally.
All right, so the next one on the agenda is the conflict of interest, and let me tell you, I thought I just did this a year ago. Years go by so fast. Every 2 years, we have to do this, right? And I think everybody is staggered because, everybody came in at different times. So it's really imperative if you get the email, you have to do it in 30 days. They don't say that we're kicked off, but they are, recommending, or they're saying within 30 days, the conflict of interest has to be done. And, look for your email on that, because that's the only
And
way
it
we know.
comes from Skill Burst.
Right.
Yeah.
It was really weird.
So
weird,
it's
yeah.
not,
Yeah, I
you know,
just-
I initially
Yeah,
didn't notice it because
I
it
didn't even know
got
it came
mixed up
from,
with
I didn't know
my.
that. Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
so just
Yeah.
note that, and they have streamlined it since they went to Skill Burst a couple years ago, so
Yes.
it is
Much
a
better.
little bit less daunting than it used to
Yeah.
be.
Yeah, most definitely,
Yeah.
especially being a renewal as opposed to an initial
Right.
training sort of thing. So yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
pretty quick and
So if I go around the table, I just want to know, have you had a chance yet?
I did it this morning, yep.
Okay. Oh, you did that too. Wow. Okay, so Phyllis
Look
did.
at you, you're
I
all over
know.
it.
So you did the conflict of interest. Good.
Did.
Glenn, have you had a chance?
yeah, no, I got my email and I
Okay,
Excellent.
renewed.
okay. Jessica, I don't think you had a chance because you just got,
Yeah, I signed into the account and everything, but I haven't actually taken
okay.
I didn't realize it was an hour.
It is.
But I was like, I thought it was like 20 minutes and I got here early. I was like, oh, I'll do
And
it
it
now.
co-
And then I logged in, I was like,
Yeah, it's kind of,
It's
hour
not
and
too
10
bad,
minutes.
though. Yeah, it's not, it
It's
goes by, it's
interesting.
pretty, yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty.
Yeah.
It's not like the one they used to do, let's put it that way. If you've
Right, oh,
been
yeah,
involved with
right.
this for a
Those are
while,
terrible.
that
Oh,
was
those are
like
awful.
painful.
Yeah. Okay, so we have, can I ask my Zoom people,
of course you can. Of course.
John? Hello?
He's
No.
saying
No?
no.
Okay,
Say
John,
no.
thank you.
No, I have not.
All right,
And
You
I
need to-
did mine on Sunday.
thank you, Mary. John, you have to do that, okay?
Okay.
Please, thank you. Okay. So, good, all right. And that's it, all right, we got that done. Good, we can move on to the next one. Okay, this is an interesting one. The tracker. Going forward, I will revert to assigning trackers case numbers in lieu of names. So this is going to be tracker case number 2025-01, okay? The year 2025, and then -01 is the first tracker. Where is my little information? Okay, the comment that was sent to us is, I'll read it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you. I brought my parents, residents of South Yarmouth, one with wheelchair, second walks with cane, to the landing across from the Cape Cod Mall. We could not go into these businesses. The site is inaccessible to persons with disabilities. The parking spaces probably comply with numbers of spaces, but they are too far away from the front entrance, and there is a 6 to 8 inch curb that a wheelchair cannot get over. It would be better if the parking spaces for disabled patrons could park right in front of the entrance, and there be a ramp along the side front, along the front of all these buildings rather than, God bless you, on tall curb. I was surprised that we could not patronize these businesses. Unfortunately, we will go elsewhere until the site is made more accessible. So,
This is the Kmart Plaza where.
Yeah, the-
Yes.
yeah.
Now-
Because
and-
we're like paper store, Whole
Gotcha.
Foods,
recently under a whole bunch of,
renovations.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's interesting because I go there all the time, and of course, I keep forgetting to like pay close attention. I mean, my impression is that it has curb cuts and such. I'm
I
pretty
have
sure it
pictures.
does.
Let me tell-
Yeah,
all
okay,
right.
so you went and
All right,
checked
let me
it.
tell you
Okay.
what happened, all right? What I found out was there's only one curb cut and it's in front of Work Gear and another store, okay?
Is that in the middle? Would you
That's
say?
pretty much in the
Last
middle,
time.
yeah.
It's sort of like in the middle, right? Okay. However, if you want to go to the paper store, you have to, first of all, let me back up. Parking for handicap is not accessible in the front of the curb. It is further up the hill. But there is an entrance to get to the paper store from the parking lot for people that have handicap, but then they have to go all the way down the ramp to get to the other stores, which is not really very easy for people that have mobility problems, right?
You mean all the way down?
They have to go
get
down the
on,
bottom of the
and then
ramp.
they have to go up the sidewalk? When you say ramp, are you talking about the sidewalk?
No, there's a ramp that is in front of the paper. I should have made copies.
Oh,
Oh,
is that,
Mary, do you want to,
is that a separate level, you mean?
Mary, are you familiar with this more than I am?
No, I just wanted to ask, so if somebody contacts our commission about another town, we're supposed to address it?
No, what I'm
No,
gonna
well,
do
we're
is
getting
we're
to
gonna,
that,
right,
yeah,
we're gonna
not
pass it
really.
over. But, yeah.
I
But in
can,
front of
I
the,
can tell, I can tell you off the record, my husband's been working on that construction site. And they're well aware that it's not in compliance and they are working. But that's
Okay, so the-
totally off the record.
You can't be off the record. We're in a public meeting, Mary.
Well, I'm just telling you, it's.
but
it's
anyway,
just
that.
For my husband.
Yeah, so you know what, but so that was brought to our attention and we're just bringing it to your attention. And what we're gonna do is we're just gonna pass it on to Barnstable, right?
Yes.
That's it. That's what we're
Yeah.
gonna do. Because I try to go there myself, when Whole Foods. And I looked and I went, oh my God, how am I gonna get to the paper store? So, I just didn't bother. So anyway, okay, cool. So. so
I
have
think
to-
they
do I have to
reached
make a
out to
motion
this-
For that, or can we just do it?
I don't think,
Okay, good.
The what?
a motion for
Oh,
that?
no, we
to-
don't-
No,
Make a-
No,
Oh,
just,
okay,
no,
just-
just, yeah, pass it on,
that's the plan.
That's the plan.
is-
All right.
pass it
Yep.
on,
We got the plan, good.
pass it on.
But I think just to Mary's point, they reached out to us because they live in Yarmouth. I think that
Yeah,
was the connection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we can move on. We're moving quickly. Oh, I want to give this, hold on. Oh, yeah, here we go. I want you to take this. As I'm doing something here. This is the annual report review. Okay, anybody have any comments?
I sent a new one out and I think I sent one out shortly before the meeting, an updated version. But I think I left it on the hard copies on the printer. I'm just gonna.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
Okay. Proceed.
Okay. Does anybody have any comments before I begin? Out there in Zoom land? No?
Oh, but they didn't get it. yet.
Anybody else?
They don't have it.
Did you make additional changes, Gail?
Yeah,
Oh,
let me,
man, you're killing me. Okay.
well, let me just, I went through some stuff here and I had to make review. The first thing is this, Sarah, if you look, everybody, on the first paragraph, 6 lines down, it says member and commissions. And then it says ADA coordinator. We have to put in American with Disability Act only because people would know what ADA is. I think we have to do that, referencing it.
Yeah,
Where are you looking?
Let me see.
I don't
In the
have-
third paragraph.
Oh, third paragraph.
Oh, well, I meant, yeah, the paragraph that starts everything. Okay.
I thought you said first. I didn't hear that.
I thought.
I did, but I would, I don't consider those two paragraphs. I just consider them whatever.
It's down here.
Gotcha. Okay.
Is that being too picky, you and of me?
Well, no, whatever you want to do. I
Well, no,
I
it's
don't
just
think the people on the problem is that, with these public meetings, when we have hybrid meetings, we need to really make sure that and I'm like not perfect at this because I just sent it out like before the meeting, but we really should be giving the information out so that people have it in time for the meeting, so that, because we're
But you have the
we're
authority.
looking at,
But wait a minute, I didn't do that because you have the authority. You were given the authority at the last meeting to accept whatever. So that's
Okay.
why I didn't do that.
okay,
But I could be mistaken, but but I only said that because I remember when we used YCOD, we had to say what it was beforehand because nobody knew what it was. I mean, it doesn't matter to me. I'm just throwing that
no,
out there.
that's a good point, but I was more referencing these other paragraphs that
But
we're
here's,
adding.
here's one that I really have to address, and that's the one about, on the second, if you turn over the page. All right. YCOD, that one there, that one needs to be deleted, and I'll tell you why.
I already did it. I already deleted it.
Oh, you did? Okay, well, I didn't get that. I didn't see that. Okay,
That's
cool.
because you didn't, you
Okay.
said you already had it, but I
Okay.
just,
Thank you. Okay, perfect. We can get rid of that. All right.
and then I already added what you asked me to add.
Oh,
That's what
see, I
was
didn't
in
get it.
there.
Okay, okay. So that there. I
So
think-
this is just basically aligning with what I sent out like a half
I
hour or so
apologize.
before the
Okay.
meeting.
Oh,
So I
half
think
an hour
we're
ago.
okay.
I wasn't.
No,
okay.
like about, I don't know, I guess it was like 2:30 or something.
Oh, okay,
And what I just handed out for the people that are.
I
in the room.
apologize. I didn't.
So I
didn't
think
open up my
I think
email.
we're good. I
Yeah,
think we're
okay,
up
cool.
to date.
Okay. So
I thought you were making additional changes beyond
no,
what
no.
you had. Okay. Okay,
So
good.
Sarah, I didn't get that email.
You didn't?
I
No,
don't know if I did, actually.
I just looked at my email and I don't have it there.
All right, well, that's weird.
Good, okay.
My phone didn't ding.
Well, I am so happy about
Sorry
that.
about that.
And I apologize, Sarah. I didn't realize that. I didn't know about that one. Okay. So now we can move on, right? This is the big one.
No, I didn't get it.
You know what? Maybe I didn't hit send. That's always a possibility, it looks like. I'm looking at I'm sorry.
A
Don't be
likely
sorry, it's
story.
okay.
Stand corrected. May I just take the time to read this quick?
Oh,
So that
sure,
we
go ahead.
can,
Yes, go ahead.
make sure that everybody has the information.
Okay.
Okay. This is for the 2024 annual report. The Town of Yarmouth Commission on Disability, often known as the Board of Commission, serves as an advisory board to the Select Board and the Town Administrator. The commission now has 7 members and can expand to 13, including at least one person from the Age-Friendly Committee. The board's responsibilities include 1, research local problems of people with disabilities, 2, advise and assist municipal officials and employees in ensuring compliance with state and federal laws and regulations that affect people with disabilities. Coordinate or carry out programs designed to meet the problems of people with disabilities in coordination with programs of the Massachusetts Office on Disability. 4, review and make recommendations about policies, procedures, services, activities, and facilities of departments, boards, and agencies of said city or town as they affect people with disabilities. 5, provide information, referrals, guidance, and technical to individuals, public agencies, businesses, and organizations in all matters pertaining to disability. Coordinate activities of other local groups organized for similar purposes. During 2024, YCOD met monthly except in June at Town Hall with some members participating via Zoom on occasion. These meetings were normally conducted on the second Thursday of each month at 3 p.m. with the agenda available on the town website. Minutes from these sessions have also been posted to the website. Sarah O'Reilly, Director of Human Resources, serves as both a staff member and the Commission's ADA Coordinator. The Commission is grateful and thankful to Sarah's commitment. I meant to take that out. Anyway. Thankful to Sarah's commitment, hard work, and availability in keeping things working well. Over the past year, the commission concentrated on providing a community access monitoring survey for town-owned buildings and in collaboration with various town departments, increasing membership with talented and concerned Yarmouth citizens, developing and distributing the YCOD brochure and poster, encouraging citizens to become advocates, attending other groups' events, and maintaining its successful partnership with the Yarmouth Chamber of Commerce. During the first 6 months of 2024, 2 commission members worked extensively on a community access monitoring survey for all town-owned facilities. A CAM survey evaluates and reports on the accessibility of public areas and infrastructures. This survey concentrated on specific areas such as disabled parking spaces, automatic door openers, railings, access paths, the force required to open doors, public counter height, and lavatories. Following the survey, a report was written and given to the town administrator, the Yarmouth Department of Public Works, and the Recreation Department, identifying problem areas that need to be repaired. YCOD was pleased to learn that our facilities are primarily ADA compliant. YCOD appreciates the work that is being done, and in 2025 will meet with these departments to review their progress. YCOD invited the Recreation Department to its November meeting. The discussion focused on the Moby Floating Beach wheelchair rental usage, condition maintenance, policy and procedures, as well as the development of more user-friendly website, which they agreed to do and report back to YCOD with an update. Congratulations to the Rec Department for an excellent job. YCOD looks forward to meeting with them again in 25. On March 31st, John Mitchell was appointed to the commission. John is a strong advocate with valuable expertise who adds fresh ideas to the commission. We are thrilled to have him on board and look forward to working with him. On October 28th, Glenn Martin was appointed to the commission. Glenn is also a powerful advocate, and his professional background and experience will be quite beneficial. The commission is looking forward to getting to know him and working alongside him. We would like to thank Donna Arnold, whose term expired in March, for her contributions to the Yarmouth Commission on Disability. The commission appreciates Donna for her time and contribution. We wish her the best. The commission invites and encourages those living with disabilities and/or their family members, as well as concerned citizens, to become involved with the Yarmouth Commission on Disability. The commission advocates for the interests and rights of people with disabilities. The commission is appreciative of the concerned citizens who took the time to report issues via our webpage, ranging from accessible parking to access to public accommodations, and we're happy to share that all of those concerns have been addressed. We need your help. If you observe an accessibility concern, please report it on our web page. Respectfully submitted, and then it lists the members.
I have a comment.
Okay.
Okay, first one is, the first paragraph. We now have 8 members.
All right, well, this
But-
is a report from last year,
Okay,
right?
that's why I was just fine. Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine. Because it says now has. So we probably should just. say-
Maybe we should just say
Right,
had then.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Okay, so we have to change that. Okay. Second one is, including at least one member from the age-friendly, that is not correct. According to the mod, it had to be what I had sent you verbatim, like the designate, either the, right, appointing authority.
So just end it at 13.
Well, you have to,
Just take that last part out. Expand to 13, period.
well, not technically, then, okay. Well, why don't you want to include the second portion, which is really important? I don't have that paperwork in front of me.
I thought you were I was agreeing with you. I thought you just said to take out including at least one person from the age-friendly committee.
But what are you going to put in its place?
I'm not. I'm just
Right,
gonna
but
say the
we shouldn't
commission had
refer-
7 members and can expand to 13.
Shouldn't refer that part of this whole thing is that there's also that membership that we have to abide by having an appointing authority or their designate.
No, can we just
Okay,
leave it, and we've got to look into that, I think, so.
okay. And so we don't have to do the third one either, because Phyllis wasn't a member then. Okay,
Right.
cool. That's it.
Yeah, I would just,
Okay.
I think we'll give your update next year.
Did a great job on that last paragraph. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
So we referenced, thanking you. Okay, cool. That's it. Anybody else have any? What
Could I
about
ask
the-
that we take the agenda out of order?
Sure.
I would ask that you consider, I'm not a voting member, but I would ask that you consider reviewing the December and January
I agree.
minutes.
Yeah, because.
Just
yes,
to be
yes.
sure that we do that before we run out of time.
Good point. Thank you. Okay, and so move to December's 2024 minutes. Is there a second?
Do you want to make a motion for both?
We can do it at the same time? Okay. And I so move to accept January 2025 minutes. Is there a second?
Second.
Jeff? And let's see now. Are there any discussions?
Ma'am?
Mhm.
What about you guys? Nope. Okay. So now we will just call for a vote. Gail, yes. Glenn,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
thank you. Jessica,
Yes.
Phyllis,
Yes,
and Mary.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's it. So now we'll proceed with the establishment of Evelyn M. Beal Impact Award. I'm gonna take this in two different steps. The first one is Evelyn's bio. A bio preserves memories and accomplishments. For those of you who had the pleasure of working with Evelyn and befriending her, this is why the award is in her honor. For those who didn't know Evelyn, her bio will lend you some insight of who she was. If you have written a bio, and to save time, if you can just give it to Sarah and then we will share it. So that's the reason why, we made the bio up so that people would be familiar with who Evelyn was. Now that we're moving forward to the second part, before we begin, I want to thank Phyllis for providing us great information on great material. It was very useful in laying the foundation and structuring of creating a nominee form. So let's begin. Using Phyllis's material, what did you glean from it? So anybody have any ideas, just speak up.
Yeah, are you able to just send me the- May I just point one thing out?
Yeah.
We talked about this, Gail, but I would just suggest that we not use a separate email
Right. we're not doing-
account,
yeah.
and it's on here because
Okay,
I just used what was presented,
Oh,
but
yeah,
where on what's the second page in it says phase O2 EMBIA at the top, that last little part, I would just say that we, I don't know that we need a graphic designer. I think the town has a town seal, and I have a little bit of marketing background, and I'm of the belief that keeping things simple and people know what the town seal is, and it also from a just I guess a market, if you think of the town as a business in a way, like it's good to have people be aware that this is a town project. So I would just suggest that we, in terms of graphic design, keep the material simple with the town seal on them, and then whatever, the steps are and what have you. So that
Okay.
would be my suggestion. And then with email, you get into like, freedom of information and open meeting law and things like that. So I think we want to kind of stay away from developing a
Yep.
separate email outside of the town for that reason. So those are
That
my
makes
thoughts
sense.
on that last little that little tiny piece. I mean, the volunteer, if you want, we can certainly always use volunteers, but
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know if you need to be specific about
Okay.
my thoughts.
So does anybody come up with anything that they would like to share?
I don't know if
What
anybody had a chance
specifically are
to
you looking
read all the
for
criteria and stuff I
for-
The
sent.
criteria had there were three or four different humanitarian awards, right?
Well, right. I
And
mean,
then what, well, all right, let me, then I'll share what I have. You mind?
not at all.
Okay. So what I gleaned from it was that award recipients are those who demonstrated outstanding, I took things from every little bit of what you
Yeah,
sent
that's
us.
fine.
Okay? But these may change because this is what I want, we want to know what your ideas are. Award recipients are those who demonstrated outstanding compassion, commitment, and leadership through their actions, such as volunteering time, advocacy and education, direct support and caregiving, creating inclusive social spaces, employment and economic empowerment, and improving accessibility and accommodation in public spaces and services in the town of Yarmouth. And if anybody wants to, like, to add something to it or take something away, that's fine. We had discussed that we're going to open it up to a citizen, a business, organization and group, and I threw in town employee because that's critical. Because they may not work for the town, they be a member or live in the town, but they work for the town and they've done a great job.
Mhm.
So I thought that would be nice. But that is something you have to vote on, obviously, because that's an extra mix in the whole equation. This is the, oh yeah, this, first of all, this was this was Evelyn's original award, right? Okay, beautifully done. The select board gave her this. And unbeknownst to me, it was all because of Sarah. Sarah had, I guess, talked to the select board and, said how great Evelyn is. And so they knew and they did this. And I thought that was wonderful. And Mary was there at that meeting. And I believe Drew was at that meeting. Maybe you, and Sarah was at that meeting. And it was really great. And Evelyn, and I even have the whole recording of the whole thing, if anybody wants to hear it. Because if you heard her voice and you understood the passion she had, right, for this committee, you would, this is why we're doing it. So we want to be enthusiastic about it. And so if you're enthusiastic about why the award is so important, that just makes it even more, wonderful. Yeah. So anyway, so that was it. That was the award. You can read that. And it was very nice. And thanks to Sarah. And then this here, I only have one. If you want to make some copies, you can do that. This
That's
is what
very
I
nice.
thought about to put together for like a nomination form. I didn't create this because I'm smart. I just went through a lot of different avenues and Googling. And this is what they're doing for nomination forms. They're trying to keep it condensed, right?
Concise.
Concise and condensed. And they're trying to just, pinpoint what people, why they want to nominate a person.
Right.
So this is the ideas, guys. So if you want to like take a second look at at what Phyllis had sent, that's when you can start plugging in things. That's what we really need to.
I mean, my
focus.
information was there was a lot of verbiage there. But I knew the new kid on the block, so I'm not exactly sure what you all were looking for. So I said, pick and choose,
Right.
take from what you want, make it a little bit more
This
concise,
is great.
obviously.
Yeah, it's really helpful.
It's a little bit more
And this is
concise.
how,
so-
well, let me just tell you, so that you know, if you want to come up with something. First one was volunteering time, and I couldn't find that anywhere.
Did you want to?
But if you look
Yeah,
at
oh.
what she had given us, number 2, advocacy and education, okay? And it gave the information, and I said, gee, that sounds like that could be part of our award, what we're looking for. Number 3, for my input, was direct support and caregiving. That seemed good because that means a citizen, right? Okay.
Just for those of you on Zoom, I think we're on the
Version.
page that says humanitarian award nomination for help
Yeah.
with the disabled in the local community at the top, just
Sorry.
for those following along at home.
Great, that's right, I forgot. Number 4 is the same page. On the backside, creating inclusive social spaces, And that took care of recreation, it took care of a lot of that other stuff. If that would be good for like a group or for organization, you know what I mean? That structure, that's what I thought. And number 5, employment and economic empowerment. That could be definitely for an organization or for a business,
Right.
right? And then number 6 was improving accessibility in public spaces and services. And that also is good for public accommodations such as businesses and things of that nature. So you pass it over to Glenn. So that is basically what I was, putting together. But this doesn't mean we have to do this. This is just an example, folks.
Like it though.
Well, that's what I had put up. I mean, it was accessibility
Right.
initiatives,
So,
direct
you know,
support and
but-
caregiving.
But my concern is I want to make sure that the body is right, if the descriptions are right. So that's where, we want to really focus in, okay? To make sure that.
So
Well-
Gail, that
Right.
wasn't part of the pack. What you're
No, this was
talking
not
about
part of-
right now was not part of the packet. So I
Right.
just,
Well, no, it wasn't part of the packet. What it did was I actually went another step. I took the information, right?
okay.
And then I shared the information. I showed you the 6 that I liked, right?
I'm being sensitive to the fact that we have 2 of our members on Zoom.
Oh,
So
okay.
what you're holding in your hand wasn't sent out to them, right?
No, no.
So I just want you to keep in mind that you've got people on Zoom that don't have so you've got to describe what you want to describe so that
Okay.
everybody can be participating in the meeting. It's
Okay.
very hard to be,
Yeah.
I don't know when you've been on Zoom recently on a meeting, but it's very difficult to be in a meeting in Zoom when people are sort of handing out paper and stuff. So
Well,
I
Glenn,
just.
you're the great articulate person. Why don't you explain it? Would you mind?
Okay, so, should I just kind of read? It's only a paragraph. Should I just read it or?
You-
Sure.
Okay. So this is what is, kind of a mock-up of.
It's a proposed nomination.
Nomination form, so I'm just gonna read, there's only a paragraph here. Says the Town of Yarmouth Commission on Disability is proud to announce its annual Evelyn M. Beal Impact Award in honor of its founder. Evelyn devoted over 30 years of advocating for community resources and to raise awareness for the needs and rights of those with disabilities. Nominate one of Yarmouth's finest who deserves this award. And then there's check boxes. Check 1, citizen, town employee, business, organization, or group. Award recipients are those who demonstrated outstanding compassion, commitment, and leadership through their actions, such as volunteering time, advocacy and education, direct support and caregiving, creating inclusive social spaces, employment and economic empowerment, and improving accessibility and accommodation in public spaces and services in the town of Yarmouth. Nominations are open to the public from blank to blank. The award ceremony will be held at a select board's meeting. The date and time will be announced on both yarmouth.ma.us and yarmouth.ma.us/468, whatever that is.
That's the Disability Commission page.
I would have no idea, 468. I would have no idea. And then there's lines to fill in, and then there's a block that says why I select this nominee, which gives them an opportunity to kind of write in and describe and kind of advocate for their, nominee. So I guess we're looking for other, anything we want to add into that block at the top or take away, or I think my hope is that when somebody reads this, they're not pigeonholing themselves into just what's written here. As far as somebody's, their nominations, accomplishments and why they want them to receive the award. It's like, oh, well, Tommy never volunteered, so I'm not gonna, you know what I mean? I don't want anybody to be, or to feel like they shouldn't nominate somebody because they don't fit what's here. So I think if we made it a little bit more generic in its wording, and we could, and just either made reference to, or gave an example, a couple of examples, but I mean, in general, just kind of make it generic and more like improving the health, well-being, accessibility, or quality of life of those with disabilities in Yarmouth, something to that effect, something, somebody who's made a real impact, somebody who's made a, or, somebody who has, yes, the problem, we're trying to brainstorm, sometimes the
Well,
storm goes away.
But that's why when I said, and then one of the pages, that the preface was the key areas of contribution for the award, and then it just expound, you've got the 6 highlights there: accessibility initiatives, the advocacy and awareness,
Mhm.
direct support, educational efforts, employment opportunities, and community engagement. But just to, when you're going to nominate somebody, you have to explain what you're looking for. So that way, I think you need to expound that in a preface, saying that these are the areas we're looking for. It doesn't have to be all of them. It could be one of them, and then depending on who gets nominated is how you would weigh that contribution that they've made or the business has made.
And how that individual describes the person that they're nominating. So it's, so I mean, it's the quality of the nomination, the written nomination as well.
But I get it, when we put it out there for people to know that there is an award that we're going to be presenting on an annual basis, but we need to let them know what we're looking for in their nominees.
Okay.
Anybody, you helped an old lady cross the street, well, that's wonderful, but is that what we're looking for to award an award to? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But so then this is what, and just let them know that there's more than one avenue to help.
Yeah.
That will recognize the fact that you're giving persons with disabilities employment opportunities, or you're including them in special trainings and so forth and so on.
Mhm.
So
I have a thought.
go ahead, Sri.
So with the examples that you had, we could start by saying, this is an honor given to individuals or organizations who demonstrate exceptional dedication and service to improving the lives of people with disabilities in the local community. For example,
Exactly.
community impact, advocacy, and support. That way it kind of leaves that broader.
Right, exactly.
These are just some examples,
Right.
but there could definitely be, we're not putting people in a box. We're not-
Right, yeah.
Right, exactly. But just to know that it's broad.
Yeah.
You've
I
got
think
6.
it's Great.
I liked it too. I thought it was very good.
Yeah.
I think it could be like formatted so it is a little more aesthetically pleasing or I told Gail, unfortunately, our web person retired, so we're in between web people right now. So I'd love to, hopefully by the time we're ready to like roll this out, we'll be able to put it like even like on a Google form or something like that, so that it's more of an electronic, nomination form, so.
That would be good. Yeah, perfect. I said that we need to streamline it though. You don't want to be too chatty because you're gonna lose people's interest.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't want to be.
I think and I don't think much of personally, I don't think much of the wording needs to be changed. I do like it where I think it's more clear to say, for example,
Right.
Yeah.
versus such as.
Right.
What about
But
maybe the
I
bullets?
also think we could
Should we
do,
do bullets?
yes, that's exactly what I was gonna
Yep.
say.
See, the problem is this. We only have so much spaces. I'm trying to get it, you try to get everything in 8.5 by 11 paper. So, but bullets will be much easier because you can just boom, boom, boom.
But you
boom, boom,
can
boom.
say,
And we can use the backside of the paper.
you can say, we can reword it so it just instructs them to submit, a summary of
Yeah.
their nomination. We don't have to necessarily have lines on the form, you know what I mean? We can just restructure this so that it's like
And if it's an online.
they attach whatever they attach to this, this would have
Okay.
the name,
Well,
address, all that kind of
please,
stuff, but.
Please, put your comments on the backside of this paper or something.
Well, is this intended to, if this is gonna be perhaps a Google form, then you're gonna have a text box that you're gonna write in.
Right.
And you're gonna be able to attach like a Word document or some sort of
Right, Yeah,
to it,
so I
so-
think we don't have to get too hung up.
Yeah, so
on
we don't
that.
necessarily have to be confined to an 8.5 by 11-inch piece of paper
Or
un-
four, but
well, unless,
paper.
I mean, you know, but we
But
can,
like the one you sent me, Gail, that, remember on the Google form, that was great, you know,
Yeah,
in
that
terms
was-
of the format.
very
So I
good.
think
Yeah. it was
a
wonderful.
Google
Yeah.
form would make it really easy. It would make it
Should-
easy
should
for
we have
people to
paper
fill
form?
out too.
Do we need paper?
paper forms
We
we
do
would
need
need
paper
also
too?
because
Okay.
like, you
We
know,
need-
my mom doesn't know how to
Yeah.
work a computer.
Right.
So I
Exactly.
mean, we
People
we
don't-
do need that
So we should
available
rework
upon
the
request.
Form here.
Right.
So, yeah, so
Yeah.
how can we get this done? Well,
Do
we
you
all
have
these
this
ideas.
electronically? Can you send this to me
Oh, sure. I
electronically?
can send that to everybody.
Yeah, I
So,
mean, I think we're
can we-
are we just talking about? Other than the, for example, are we talking about anything that needs to be changed other than just like formatting?
The
Okay.
check boxes for organization, individual, I think those need to be bigger. They're not very easy to see.
Yeah, I think those could be moved down to like the rest
Yeah.
of your, yeah,
Okay,
If we get rid of the lines or half of them
right,
and do maybe a couple bullet points and then make those check boxes at the bottom a little bit bigger.
yeah.
okay. What else?
I
Yeah.
think Phyllis's name is spelled incorrectly. Am I
Oh,
right
is it?
about that?
I
Is it spelled with an F?
Is it? It's two ends, right? One E and two ends?
Yes, VENNBERG.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
That's right.
VENNBERG.
VENN. Oh, I had it all wrong. Oh, my gosh.
You have
Gail.
E's in one end,
Well,
but
you know,
it's-
Let's see.
Okay, so what we're thinking about is we're thinking about moving the check boxes, which is a user input. We're moving all the user input stuff to one section, so everything's all together.
Okay,
Maybe enlarging it to make it look more noticeable for the check boxes. We're looking at cleaning up the language, right? And just kind of, yeah, and maybe kind of, maybe, you know,
we're
maybe
gonna
just
add
cleaning it
the
up in that.
Disability Commission at the end of F468 for those that don't know it.
yeah, so Gail, can you send this to me electronically?
I
And I
will,
can bring a
because
new
that's-
version
because-
next time.
Yeah,
And-
and,
If that would be.
yeah, and,
Unless someone else wants to volunteer to,
Oh, no, no,
do
this
it.
is good.
I think if I have it electronically, it'll take me like,
2 seconds.
yeah.
Okay, I could do that, of
Yeah.
course. Yeah. So
And
I,
then you can make,
And if-
you can make more enhancements
Yeah.
based on
Yeah,
what I
and-
give you. I think it's easy.
if you could send it to everybody, send it, you know, send
Right.
it to the whole commission, and then maybe is it agreeable that we can maybe take, you know, whenever the next meeting is, when's the next meeting?
March.
much.
Well, March
Second Thursday.
second Thursday,
Yeah,
March second Thursday, we can,
13th?
the 13th, okay, by,
13th, okay.
March 13th, if we have all of our recommendations
Yes,
submitted by March 7th. And nothing after that, no changes after that, no extra submissions, no nothing, then that means that whatever is submitted, you know, up till the 7th can make it into the packet so everybody can have it and we can all kind of take a look, and we'll have everybody's suggestions at that point, and we can kind of pick and choose what we want to include and what we don't.
good job. Yeah, put that in the minutes just to make sure that we remember that.
I don't remember what I said.
March,
No, I got it.
Submissions by March 7th.
by March 7th.
Is that,
So-
is that agreeable, John and Mary? Does that sound okay? Yeah.
John's like out in the
I know, he's like,
Europe or something.
John's in Metropolis fighting off.
he's been all
Depends on the moment. He's like,
And the last time I looked, he was on the
world
beach.
traveler.
on a beach.
He's traveled all over the world during the course of an hour-long meeting.
So March
So-
7th, yeah, Mary, yes.
So, and I'm sorry if I've missed the discussion. So does this have to get approved by the select board or anything, since it's an award that's being, you know, from the town?
I talked to the town administrator about it and he was very much on board with the Disability Commission presenting an award for this.
So it doesn't have to get approved by the select board?
No, it's an award that's being presented by the Commission on Disability.
And you spoke to who?
the town administrator.
Okay.
Oh, you know, what we'll have to find out too.
No,
We had mentioned July because it was Evelyn's birthday in July, but
Mhm.
July, we thought about not having, we were thinking of not having a meeting in July. But we
Why?
could have, because last year, so many people were taking vacations. If I remember correctly, everybody said, oh, let's just skip July, because we don't have to do 12 meetings, we can do 10, but we don't want to do, we try to do 12. But if we can get rid, July was supposed to be like a vacation month.
What if we make sure that everything is established prior to that?
Well, I think that if we decide to do it in July, my thought process is this. When we close down the nomination, right, we can have an executive meeting. Is that's proper, right? Because you don't want everybody to know who the winner is before the winner knows. So we could actually do something like that. You know what I mean? Maybe we can do it.
like hold an executive session.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
we'll
don't know
have to-
how that works. I
Yeah,
don't know if
what
this
would take place
I don't know if
at
this
a
is
meeting?
On the executive.
Well, how we.
Well, I mean, it would, executive session could conceivably be everybody on the commission, but
It
it's,
wouldn't be a public.
it wouldn't be a public meeting. It would be,
There's only certain reasons that you can do.
Exactly, and I don't-
executive session.
and I don't know.
If we're discussing our nominations, how are we gonna discuss it?
well, but,
It just
but
may need to be in public session. That's all. It may need to be,
Oh,
can
I
look
know
into
what we'll do.
that.
We'll take the names, we'll just make numbers out of them. Yeah, we won't say who they are. Okay. Well, I mean, because there's gonna be
I
descriptions.
think John started, no?
Donald,
What, John?
what did you say?
He's in the
I was
forest.
just talking.
He just got,
He's really
he's
sick.
talking to the squirrels in the forest.
Well. we have
Okay,
to
so-
think
So I
about
can
that.
look into what the deal is with that. Like,
Okay.
there's,
Executive session,
I don't think this.
I don't
would
think you
need-
can just go into
Oh,
executive.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
but-
well, yeah, because
But my
I,
concern is how do you discuss, you know,
yeah, it might be something
yeah,
where you would establish
A couple. people
a subcommittee
That that
to
isn't.
pare it down to
okay.
3 or 4 and then take the finalists and present them to the full committee. And that way we could probably potentially avoid the executive session.
Oh, that's a
part.
good idea. That'll work. Perfect. Okay. So we have to think about the dates too. So that has to be part of the plan.
Okay. So why doesn't everybody ponder that?
Something. Good, I heard you, like you were gonna say something, and then you did not.
So I think that's it, right?
I disagree, but everybody else seems to be in
Speak,
agreement, so.
speak. No, what's,
What do you
Please speak up.
disagree with?
Yeah.
The subcommittee,
okay,
I want everybody to be involved. But if it'll avoid that, having to do that other type of meeting and that just makes it easier. so be it.
Well, if it doesn't meet the requirements for executive session,
Mhm.
then it means that we would have to do 2 options. We either appoint a small subcommittee to review them, or do it in public session.
So we would have to review them in public session.
Right. If you have a quorum for your meeting, you have to do it in public.
Oh, I'm thinking that you mean it like a town meeting.
No, like
No,
this
like-
is
like-
a public
like a meeting like this, that is consistently
gonna
accessible
be-
by the public.
Right, it's gonna.
Oh, I
be
see,
like
okay.
Yeah.
recorded and- Yeah,
Something to think about. So that's.
yeah, we'll look into that further.
You know, now that I think about it, I was a member of the BPW, Business and Professional Women, for many years. And I was on a nominating committee there a long time ago. And we had a subcommittee to discuss that.
How'd
Yeah,
that
and-
work out?
I think there's 3 of us, because we had to have an odd man out. And we did, we interviewed people and put our thoughts together and then talked with the people that ran the organization. the president.
Yeah. and-
Reported
and-
back.
And when we were hiring a new superintendent, it was the same thing. We had a subcommittee, that weeded through all the applicants and did initial interviews and did all that. And we pared it down and we ended up presenting, the basically the final two candidates to the school committee. And then from there, everything was done in public session. Now, the final interviews, the walkthroughs, town hall session kind of things where where the public could come and ask questions and such like that. But it's mostly just like if we get inundated with nominations, then we don't want to take a formal meeting or like a regular scheduled meeting to just sit and pare
Go through
through
them,
and all
yeah.
that. We want to, we want to come with final four, final three, whatever.
Some recommendations.
Exactly, yeah.
Right.
So the final decision will be made by the entire
Yes.
commission? Okay, all
Right.
right.
that's the way it
Yes.
usually should-
I thought the subcommittee was going,
No.
No,
They made recommendations.
yeah, the
Okay.
purpose of the subcommittee is to weed through all the red tape and bring a final recommendation to the committee, being that the last two, the last three, whatever, bring a couple, the strongest candidates to the committee, and the committee will discuss, and the committee will
decide.
will decide.
Okay,
I have a suggestion.
No.
Because we don't know who's can be on the subcommittee, right? What about if we just put everybody's name in a hat and you just pick? And those are the people on the subcommittee.
Well,
Why don't we wait and see who
But I'm
would
just- no,
like to
that's
be on
what-
the subcommittee?
Yeah, right.
There's- Everybody may not want
Yeah,
to
but they
have their
have to
name
be.
in the hat.
They have
Why?
I feel like,
Because you know what? Because guess what? You guys have a lot, to give, right? So that's why it's important. I mean, I think it's fair because this way, nobody knows who's gonna be in the subcommittee. It's like a mystery, right?
But Gail, so typically how something like this would happen is that would work if everybody wanted to be on the subcommittee.
Okay.
But first you would ask who wants to be on the subcommittee. If you have more than, you can take, then you
Oh, I
could do
assumed
that. with-
everybody would take that.
Right.
See, I just
But
assumed,
people may not be able to take the time to give to that, to
Oh.
to another project, you know what I mean, outside of
okay,
the
all
meetings
right.
and
Well,
stuff.
my assumption is. wrong.
So,
Yeah.
so I think
Okay.
that's a good process if you have more,
everybody
if
wants
you
it, right,
have
okay.
too many people,
Okay.
right, yeah.
Okay, that sounds fine then. I'm just throwing it out there because, I'm saying to myself, I said, everybody's gonna want to be on the subcommittee and then what do we do?
what if you
See, I'm very
take the names of the
optimistic
people
that
that
way.
want to do it and put those names?
Right, that's what I
Yeah.
was saying,
Yeah.
too, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
whatever. All right, so I think we're about over, right? So I could just say I make a motion to adjourn the meeting and
second,
Glenn, seconded.
There you go.
thank you. Gail, yes.
Yes.
Elvis, yes.
Yes.
Glenn, John? Yes. Thank you. And Jessica?
and Mary's already adjourned.
Right. Meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.